The new EV market at the moment is very bubbly and vibrant, with new cars appearing on the market seemingly every month. As always, of course, everyone is talking about Tesla Model 3 as the affordable long-range EV for the masses. But there are plenty of choices out there, which I would argue means that there's something out there for everyone. Well, almost everyone. But this video is not about Tesla. It's not. Recently I had the pleasure of driving one of the more affordable long-range EV offerings out there. I'm of course talking about the Kia E-Niro, which you can see behind me and you've already seen in this video. Well, if you had not seen this car yet, and why would you? There aren't too many of them on roads, mainly due to the lead time. It will be 12 months before you see one if you order one now. But is it worth the wait? Well, it's a real joy to drive. The car I'm looking at is the first generation Kia E-Niro, but anyone placing an order on one now will be receiving the next generation of this car. There are some changes inside the cabin which have already been rolled out to the hybrid versions of this car, but we don't know yet if there are any changes to the pure EV side of things. But first, let's go through the usual review stuff. Seats are quite reasonably comfortable. The screen in the middle is a tad small for the cars today, but it's alright, it's big enough. The next generation will actually have a slightly bigger screen. The Apple Car is actually quite amazing. I found myself using Siri quite a lot whilst driving. I don't have any other experiences with any other phone types, but it works amazing with the Apple phones. Styling wise, it's alright. It doesn't look like a frog, it doesn't look like a fridge. It's quite civil. If you'd seen that car on the road, you wouldn't necessarily be able to tell that it's a pure electric car, just from the look on the outside. If you look at the boot, it's quite spacious. It's a reasonably sized car for a family of 4. So let's talk about the range, everyone's favorite subject. This car has a 64 kWh battery pack, and the efficiency of the drivetrain is quite amazing. Depending on your driving style, you can achieve between 200 and 280 miles of range. Kia quotes 282, which is about right. On most days, it meant that I did not have to think about plugging it in. It made me forget that I have a home charger, really. Most of the time I operate this car in sort of a middle range of the battery capacity, topping it up every so often, but more about this later. This car is quite nippy. With just a bit over 200 brake horsepower and plenty of torque. It's very quick off the line, especially when overtaking or when you're going up a very steep hill. Just like most cars these days, the car has 3 different drive options: normal, sports and eco, which you could call a chill mode. There's also an eco plus mode, but that's for desperate people, really, truly. There's 3 levels of regenerative braking and an automatic mode, which I highly recommend. If you just pull both stalks for a few seconds towards you, it will just trigger that mode. The most annoying thing I have to say about this driving this car for a week was the fact that cruise control could follow the car ahead of you very nicely. But if you're in stop-start traffic and the cars stop for more than a few seconds, it will disengage. And then you have to press a button or do something else to actually let it carry on. I wish it just just did its thing, because it's really annoying that you have to push a button just sometimes, or press the accelerator, which is just a very weird thing if you have a car a few meters in front of you. So is it any good? Size-wise, it's not too wide or big for British roads. I'm looking at you, Tesla. It's pretty fast. It is faster than any ICE car, but then that's not a tall order for any EV. The interior is actually quite lovely. I would prefer a bright option. Apparently Kia has not figured out how to make one that's easy to clean. I think they should call Nissan to help them out. Also, I would love if the upholstery wasn't a genuine leather, but for leather it's actually not too bad. Sticker price wise, it's about £34,000. I'm not a big fan of that price. I'm sure the bloke from Yorkshire would agree. Even given the cost of batteries and all sorts of trinkets that are involved in making an EV, this price is way too high for most people. You can buy a Jaguar F-Pace or a Range Rover Evoque for this much. Granted, they will be slower and less fun to drive, but they still seem to be a preferred choice of many with children in the UK, but people baffle me sometimes. But I do hope they come to their senses, especially since MG will be breathing down the neck with the new MG ZS EV. Let's talk about charging. This car uses the CCS rapid charging standard, which allows it to be charged with speeds up to 77 kilowatts DC. I found the charging ports very easy to access, a bit flimsy though. I might be worried that these will fall off eventually. This is obviously the Make 1. Again, the new orders will be receiving the next version, which hopefully will improve certain things in this area. It's also equipped with an AC charger, which allows it to charge with speeds up to 7.2 kilowatts. Charging this car from empty to full will take roughly about 10 hours. This is plenty fast for most use cases when you charge the car at home overnight, or when parked and plugged in into a destination charger. So in conclusion, I love this car. For me, it's a toss-up between this and the Model 3. Kia E-Niro has a lot to offer, and I do look forwards for these cars to appear on the second-hand market at reasonable prices, but we are probably at least 2 years away from that. The thing that differentiates this car from Model 3 is the range. And bear with me here, I'm talking about the car, at a lower price tag. The 260 mile real world range at this price is not possible in a Tesla world, although it comes close. Kia is also very well known for very good servicing and reliability. Warranty and servicing are excellent. Tesla, on the other hand, comes with a prestige and charging network, and of course the over-the-air updates. It also comes with a promise of self-driving capability in the near future, but we do know how the Elon time works. So folks, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your time. I do appreciate it. If you have any comments, any suggestions, please stick them in the comment section down below, or better yet, follow us on Twitter at TakeItEV, and just let me know what you think. I would also like to thank Milton Keynes EV Experience Centre and eVision Car Rental for letting me use their cars and facilities. Thank you guys.
The following was a presentation of Take It EV podcast. All rights reserved. This video contains our own opinions, and hosts make no guarantees to the accuracy, completeness, suitability, or relevancy of the information provided. All information provided on an as-is basis. No refunds.